On May 16, 2025, the US Supreme Court made a landmark decision. The court ruled against the Trump administration's fast-track deportation of Venezuelan migrants. This 7-2 decision emphasized the violation of constitutional due process rights. The case involved Venezuelans in Texas accused of gang affiliations. Despite the administration's claims, the court focused on due process, not the Alien Enemies Act. President Trump criticized the ruling, calling it a threat to national security. He suggested suspending habeas corpus rights, highlighting tensions in immigration policy.
President Trump's aggressive immigration policies are shaking things up at Columbia University. International students make up 40% of our student body, bringing in over $900 million in tuition. Visa revocations and deportation threats are hitting hard, especially for those in pro-Palestinian activism. Federal research funds are frozen, putting financial stability and academic freedom at risk. The broader implications? The U.S. might lose its appeal to international scholars. Columbia is facing significant challenges, and the stakes are high. President Trump's ambitious legislative agenda is hitting roadblocks. Despite Republican control, the One Big Beautiful Bill is stalled. Aimed at extending tax cuts and reducing spending, it's facing GOP resistance. Conservatives demand deeper cuts and nixing green energy credits. This internal conflict highlights divisions within the party. Meanwhile, Moody's downgrades the U.S. credit rating. Fiscal deficits and debt, projected at 134% of GDP by 2035, are concerning. The pressure is on lawmakers to tackle these financial challenges. Even with a unified government, advancing policy goals is complex. Can President Trump navigate this political climate?
President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill is stirring the pot. It's facing pushback from within his own party. The bill proposes $625 billion in Medicaid cuts over 10 years. Work requirements, eligibility checks, and limiting provider taxes are on the table. Fiscal conservatives want deeper cuts, while moderates worry about coverage loss. The CBO says up to 10.3 million could lose coverage. Republicans are torn between fiscal goals and political risks. The bill's future? Uncertain, as the GOP debates healthcare access. In a pivotal decision, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit lifted an injunction, allowing Trump's executive order to limit union rights for federal employees to proceed. This order exempts key agencies like Justice, State, and Defense from collective bargaining, impacting 75% of unionized federal workers. The National Treasury Employees Union argued it violated labor rights, but the court found no irreparable harm to sustain the injunction. Judges appointed by Republicans emphasized presidential authority on national security, while a dissenting Biden-appointed judge criticized the vague justification. This ruling empowers the Trump administration to restrict collective bargaining, invoking national security exemptions and challenging existing union contracts.
Iran's President Pezeshkian says Trump talks peace but threatens at the same time. He says Trump is lying when he speaks of peace. It's a complex situation, and the world is watching closely. Can diplomacy and tension coexist? The stakes are high, and every word matters. In this global chess game, who will make the next move? Stay informed and keep an eye on the developments. For more insights, follow the link in the bio. On May 16, 2025, federal judges intensified pressure on the Trump administration. The wrongful deportation of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Maryland resident, to El Salvador is at the center. Despite a 2019 order granting him protection, he was deported in March 2025. The administration called it an administrative error. Invoking state secrets privilege to withhold information has strained judiciary relations. President Trump's statements on facilitating Abrego Garcia's return add to the controversy. This case highlights tensions between the executive branch and judiciary over immigration enforcement. Former President Trump just accepted a $400 million Boeing 747-8 jet from Qatar's royal family, dubbed a flying palace. It's got gold accents, a master suite, and lounges. But critics are worried about ethics and legality. Could this violate the emoluments clause? Plus, the jet lacks the security features of Air Force One, raising national security concerns. Trump says it's more impressive than the outdated Air Force One. Why wouldn't I accept a gift? The U.S. Department of Homeland Security is reviewing a game show proposal. Imagine winning U.S. citizenship through challenges. Canadian producer Rob Wersoff of Duck Dynasty fame pitched it. Contestants face American-themed challenges, NASA launches, gold rushes, and auto assembly. The winner, sworn in as a U.S. citizen. It's a mix of patriotism and entertainment, but not without controversy. Critics worry it commodifies citizenship and exploits contestants. Does it undermine the seriousness of immigration policy? What do you think? Is this the future of reality TV? President Trump just signed an executive order to cut U.S. prescription drug prices. He says prices could drop by 30% to 80% almost immediately. But experts warn that procedural hurdles make quick changes unlikely. The order sets a 30-day deadline for most favored nation price targets. If progress stalls, further actions could take months or years. Critics say the order lacks teeth and might face legal challenges. So, will this really lower your drug costs? Comment below with your thoughts. Wow, did you hear? Trump just signed an executive order. He's giving drug makers 30 days to lower prescription drug costs. Finally, some action on these outrageous prices. I've been struggling to afford my meds for so long. This could really change things for people like me. I hope the drug companies actually follow through. Imagine not having to choose between groceries and medicine. This is a big deal, and I'm cautiously optimistic. Let's see if this order makes a real difference. Stay tuned, because this could be a game changer.
Cigna and CVS shares are taking a hit today. As Trump signs a sweeping executive order, he's targeting the middlemen in Big Pharma. This move is shaking up the market, big time. Investors are reacting and stocks are dropping. Could this be a game changer for healthcare? Stay tuned for more updates on this developing story.
In a tense political climate, nonprofit leaders are on edge. A new House measure threatens their tax-exempt status. The Trump administration targets those opposing its agenda. Nonprofits fear being labeled as supporting terrorism. This move could cripple organizations advocating for change. Leaders argue it's a tactic to silence dissent. The stakes are high for those fighting for their causes. As the measure advances, uncertainty looms. Nonprofits brace for a challenging road ahead. Their mission? To continue their work despite political pressure. The question remains, how will they adapt? Will they find new ways to thrive? The future of advocacy hangs in the balance. The Trump tariffs are still in play, keeping Asian firms cautious. At the U.S. Investment Summit, their absence is noticeable. These tariffs have reshaped global trade dynamics, forcing companies to rethink their strategies and investments. Many are waiting for a clearer path before diving into the U.S. market. The uncertainty is palpable, but so is the potential for change. As the trade landscape evolves, all eyes are on the next move. Will the tariffs stay, or will a new era of trade begin? Stay tuned to see how this economic story unfolds. Kevin McCarthy here, and I'm frustrated. Some Republicans are stalling a crucial budget bill. House Concurrent Resolution 14 supports Trump's agenda. It extends tax breaks and boosts border security, energy, and military. Passed the House in February 2025, but stuck in the Senate. This delay questions our unity and effectiveness. Key tax provisions are expiring soon. The outcome affects our political capital and governance. We need to act now for the party's future. Let's talk about a big debate: President Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship. It's not just about citizenship, it's about judicial power. Nationwide injunctions can stop federal policies cold. The Trump administration says this oversteps court roles. They argue it messes with separation of powers. It's about setting limits on judicial reach. So, what do you think? Should judges have this much power? Comment below with your thoughts. Please like and subscribe to my channel.